Hello, Brevard Music Center friends and students. My name is Hazel Dean Davis. This summer will be my 8th summer on the horn faculty at the Music Center. I'm so disappointed that we can't gather in person, but I'm looking forward to meeting and engaging with you virtually online. During the rest of the year, I play in Boston. I am usually racing from gig to gig all over New England. I play and tour with the Boston Pops Esplanade Orchestra. In fact, I was supposed to be on tour with an all John Williams concert in April, but it was canceled. In fact, all of my concerts from March on have been canceled. You are probably experiencing something similar. It is a very strange time to be a musician, really to be any human. But musicians are especially hit because what we do is perform for an audience. And those sorts of gatherings cannot happen right now. So what are you doing? What are you doing at home with your horn? For me, I have found that I am benefiting by going back to basics. I have no concerts to prepare for. No idea when I will play publicly again. So I want to take this as an opportunity to hone in on the basics, the fundamentals, go back to the etude books of my college years and my high school years, and re-engage with these etudes and see what I can get out of them now. I've been playing a lot of Kopprasch, and I thought today we would take a look at Kopprasch number 32. It's the one with the giant leaps and all the low C's. You know it. So let's talk for a minute about the reputation of horn players missing notes. We get a bad rap for that, right? Horn is hard, and the partials are close together, up high, and so it is easy to miss a note. But there's two important things that we can do to get better at hitting the right note. We need to be able to hear the note that we want to play, and we need to be able to taste the note that we want to play. This etude, Kopprasch number 32, gives us an opportunity to practice both of those. But today I'm going to focus primarily on the tasting aspect. For every note in the range, there's a different mouth feel. You can think about it as a way to describe where your tongue is, what your lips feel like, how your corners feel. Is your jaw open? Is it more closed? How much space is there between the top of the mouthpiece and the nose? Is that different than on a higher note or a lower note? Is the chin flexed? All of these things can affect the sound and the pitch of a note. So it is important for you to know how your notes taste. Sometimes we can hear the note in our head before we play it. If something is playing before our entrance and it sets up our key and we know how our note relates to that key, we can hear it, and that will help us. But sometimes we have to play a note out of nowhere. And for that, we need to be able to taste the note. We can't rely just on the ear. Although always important, the ear is sometimes not enough. So looking at number 32, we can really take a kinesthetic snapshot of how these notes feel and how they are related to each other and the shifts that have to take place to successfully move from one note to the next. So in the opening 2 bars, we have a series of low C's interspersed between an arpeggio. So the arpeggio pretty simple. You feel subtle changes happening as you move between those fairly close together partials. Now, when you add the low C, all of a sudden there's a lot more motion. It's necessary motion. Of course, we always want to be as efficient as possible and avoid any movement that is unhelpful. But when you're shifting from a very low note to a higher note, some motion is necessary. So if you watch when I do it, you'll notice a few things. For my low C, my jaw has to open. Jaw drops down. The space between my molars gets wider. You'll also notice that my lead pipe tilts a little bit towards my upper lip, putting a little more pressure on my upper lip for the low note. You can think of that as the horn moving slightly, or you can think of it as a very gentle nod yes with your chin. Another thing that happens is that the distance between my nose and the top of my mouthpiece changes very slightly. So for me, as I go down, the mouthpiece pulls slightly here. And when I go back up, it pushes up a little bit towards my nose. It's not the mouthpiece moving across my lips. That's almost never a good idea. It's the mouthpiece putting just the right amount of pressure on the lip and then pulling and pushing the skin. This helps, all of these things together, help change the direction of the air to better facilitate the note that you are trying to play. So watch again. Now you try. What do you notice? If you have trouble playing the low C, you could start by just playing a series of Cs and trying each time to change one of those aspects that I just talked about and see if any of them help. Maybe you need to drop your jaw a little bit more. Maybe it would help even to bring your corners down a little bit. Maybe it would help to push your jaw forward. Everyone's face and mouth are different. So you need to find the best way for you to play the note, how it tastes for you. That's what's important. So start with just the C's. When that's feeling pretty solid, you can add the arpeggio. You can try it slowly. Then you can try it more quickly once you feel confident that you can taste the change that needs to happen between the two notes. The next two measures are similar, except for the low note is now a G. It's in the so-called break range for a lot of players. So for some people, it is more challenging to really center the G than it is the C. For some people, the G is easier than the C. Doesn't matter. What matters is for you to find the best mouth feel for that note. Just as you did for the C, you can now do it with the G. And then add your upper notes. And then the last two measures we're going to talk about today goes back to like the beginning, going down to the low C, but this time the low C is the second note. Same principles apply, although it feels subtly different when the low note is on the offbeat. So I encourage you to take a look at Kopprasch 32 during this time at home. We have lots of time to practice and no concerts to play. So it's a great opportunity to work on something like number 32. Purely a technical exercise, not a lot of music happening here. But you can learn a lot about your playing. You can improve dramatically your sense of taste throughout the range. so that you can more reliably hit the note that you're aiming for. I look forward to seeing you soon online and hopefully soon in person. Good luck, take care, be safe.